You say yeah.
You can basically hear,
and
here.
keto, it's like molecules. What's up, guys? Thank you for clicking on video 2 of the Reliable Vibes Track. I'm Gabriel.
And I'm Jackie.
And we're going to talk about ketosis. So we are talking about ketosis because we keep getting a lot of the same questions from our family and friends.
Dang.
I want that smoke, guys. So anyways, getting a lot of these same questions, and just figured we'd address it on video once and for all.
Yeah. So let's get started. So one of the main questions that we get is, what is keto? So let's go ahead and start with Gabriel and tell us what your best description of keto is.
So my description, and the real dumbed down version of my description, is just keto is when you fool your body into thinking that you are dying so that it can feed off your fat and basically use your fat for energy instead of relying on carbohydrates and things like that. How would you describe keto?
I would say that's pretty spot on. It basically is your body thinking it's starving and using ketones that it produces to basically survive. And it uses those ketones to use energy produced from fat. So it's eating away at your fat and just getting that energy going from the fat instead of using carbs to fuel your body for energy. So that's the best description that I can give. Of course, there's a lot of information out there regarding keto. Please note that we are not medical experts, and we're not telling you to go ahead and do keto. If you want to, by all means, go ahead and do it. We've been doing it. We didn't have any type of medical advice or any type of treatment that way that we consulted with our doctors. But yes, do your research if you want. Consult with your doctor. We're all for it.
The next thing we're going to talk about is getting into ketosis. So I personally have a really bad time kicking into ketosis. So ketosis for me happens when I stop eating carbs for about 3 days, 4 days, and I honestly feel horrible. I get flu-like symptoms, I get real groggy. I just don't like to be around people, and it feels like I have a fever. But I think the worst part for me is being in kind of like a mind fog for what I want to say is about 1 or 2 weeks. I just get to the point where it's like I feel real unmotivated to do what I'm doing. I just don't have all my focus on what I'm doing at that time, and that's really part of me getting into ketosis. What was getting into ketosis like for you?
For me, it does take some time. The longest I've seen it take is about 2 weeks. And we'll get into details a little later in other videos as to how you can check on whether or not you're in ketosis or the state of ketosis. But generally speaking, for me, it does take a little longer, about 2 weeks. And I do get what's called the keto flu. So it doesn't happen to everyone. For myself, I do get the keto flu, which entails things like fatigue, mind fog, headaches, even thirst, lack of energy, well, of course fatigue, but for me it was mainly fatigue and mind fog. Those were the killers for me. Now, in order for you to kind of go against that and try to make your body feel better, I would really recommend to up your electrolytes and to also drink a lot of water. No matter if you're on keto or not, water is definitely something that's recommended every single day, but it's very helpful during keto. It's one of the things that you should never forget to do on a daily basis. The rule of thumb that we follow is to at least drink half of your weight in ounces of water. So that's my recommendation there.
That's what we try to do, guys.
Yes, we try it. It's hard.
This is a lot of fluid ounces of water. Half of it is. So as far as getting into ketosis and things, what are some of the things that help you kind of snap into ketosis?
For me, it's light exercise. So that kind of helps me with the keto flu and also just kicking into ketosis. And of course, gradually lowering my carbs. That's another thing. I would recommend that you start off slow. That's not something that I would recommend to jump right into, because then the keto flu does happen a little faster and especially if you work full time, you have kids, it's not a good feeling. But just kind of get to know your body and take it slow in the beginning. It's not the same for everyone. It hasn't been the same for Gabriel. It hasn't been the same for me.
I completely disagree. I think that you should hit it hard and fast. Go cold turkey with those carbs, guys. Just, if you're gonna do it, just cut the carbs out, crash, hit that wall, and then just get over it. You know what I mean? For me, I probably recommend starting keto on a Thursday, just because, maybe you'll probably kick into ketosis, or I would kick into ketosis like around Saturday, Sunday. Go into Monday already in ketosis, already ready to start the week. That's what I would say. But yeah, drinking a lot of water is definitely something that helps. So get you into ketosis faster and just keeps you kind of more level-headed when you're in it.
I do get this question a lot. You might not, but I do. People ask, how long does it take? People are very fast to want to see results, and sometimes honestly people don't want to put the time into it. I know it was hard for me, it was hard for Gabriel, and also disclosure, we did try this diet back in 2019 and we both lost 50 pounds in a matter of 6 months. So we do know that it works, and this is why we're sharing it now. We feel more confident and we are a little more familiar as to what it is. We did a lot of research, what to eat, what not to eat, which we'd be happy to share with you guys a lot more. Please drop your questions in the comments if you would like to see more videos or specific questions that you have. We'd be happy to address that. For me, it takes at least a month and a half for me to really see results, for me to see that I'm feeling with more energy. That's how I know I'm in ketosis, because I lose that mind fog. I'm very focused. I'm able to just do my job, pay attention to the kids, do this, do that. I'm very focused. I don't lose focus easily compared to when I'm not on keto. And I also thirst. Thirst is another indication. Your body wants to have, quench, fulfilled, and drinking a lot of water. That's my go-to when I know that I'm in ketosis and I start seeing results in my body. I know my body's using those ketones to burn away at my fat and using it as energy.
So I realized my body was in ketosis, and I tested my body about 3 days in. That's when I realized that I was, getting into the beginning stages of ketosis. At that time, I started working out a little bit, and that's when I really saw my body kind of kick into it a little bit more. And basically, I saw no change in my body, guys. Zero change in my body for about a month. And that can be really discouraging, but just kind of knowing that I was in ketosis just kind of helped me go just another day. And one thing that I did realize about 4 weeks in was that a lot of I don't ever realize when I'm bloated. There's a lot of people out there that do realize when they're bloated and will point it out constantly. About 4 weeks in, I realized that I was no longer bloated, and that I don't want to use the word leaner because I'm not lean in any way, but it's just, I was less round. So, that's what I said.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, the bloatness, we're not the thinnest people out there, but bloatness is definitely a real thing. And that's one of the things that we both noticed right away is that bloating going away. And that's because we've reduced our carbs. A lot of the meals that we're eating do contain less gluten or no gluten at all. So that's also helpful. That's basically the major questions that we've been getting. And I hope that this helps a lot of people out there. If you guys have similar questions or have maybe thinking about starting keto, this is a little bit of information as to our experience with keto.
If you guys have any questions, drop some questions right there down at the bottom. Any comments? If you want to share your story, drop it in there. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah. And also, so why did we choose keto? So I know there's a lot of controversy with keto as to whether or not it's healthy. I honestly think there's different diets. Every diet has something to give. Some diets are good, some diets are bad. I would say go with what you want, what you think is going to work for you, for your lifestyle, for your everyday routine. Love food, but where we grew up eating meat, we did not want to just be off of meat completely, right?
Yeah, the big one for me was learning that I could eat chicken wings still on this I'm a big wing guy, so yeah, that kind of solidified it for me. I can give up everything else, but meat, some steak, some chicken wings. Even if I gotta eat like crappy cauliflower or broccoli, like I'm gonna do it. So that's basically why I picked keto.
Yeah, and it's also easy. Like when you go out to eat, people think it's really hard, but it really isn't. As long as you have your protein, you have your veggies, you're good to go. Honestly, that's all you really need. A lot of the places out there have these options, and it was just easy for us, to just have these at hand. And we got a little more hands-on in the kitchen as well. And so I think just getting familiar with the basics as to what you can eat, what you can't eat, and then just kind of combining that and throwing it in there, you'll be fine. So it was just easier for us. Keto was just the way to go for us. We didn't want to leave the things that we love. Of course, don't get us wrong, we don't eat meat like constantly every day and just fatty meat, right? So I know that's another thing that people think. That's definitely not the case. If you are on Instagram, please feel free to follow us. We do share a lot of the food that we eat. A lot of it does contain veggies, a lot of greens. Like, we'd be happy for you guys to go ahead and see firsthand what we eat on a daily basis, or most of the time what are the meals that we're eating.
All right, guys. So this video is getting a little bit long, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut it here. Again, thank you for hitting play. I'm Gabriel.
And I'm Jackie.
And that's the end.
Yeah. Bye. Till next time.